Now, for those who've been watching my channel for a while, you'll have noticed that I have been very negative on silver. It's a natural response for me because I think responsible silver investing is the most important way that you can protect yourself and your investments. But I have always, and I will always say that silver is one of the single best assets that you can buy to protect yourself into the future, to preserve that wealth. And the brilliance of this latest craze for silver is exemplifying that message, and that is something to be commended and applauded. Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here. Now let's talk about silver as a means to protecting your wealth against inflation. This is one of the major topics that has been born out of the whole Wallstreetsilver, SilverSqueeze, SilverRaid movements, and it is most certainly an incredibly good mechanism by which one can preserve one's wealth over time. Now, I have been very critical of the SilverSqueeze movement over this last couple of weeks and months, which has not gone unnoticed by those on the Wallstreetsilver Reddit. What I have, though, always said is that sustainable and responsible silver ownership and buying and purchasing is the most important means to keep your cash safe in the long run. If you go and overcommit to something, you will put yourself at risk. That does not mean that buying silver is a bad thing. I am very, very, very keen on saying that silver is an incredible buy right now, especially in the uncertain times that we have going into the future. There is no better mechanism in my mind than gold and silver, precious metals, to preserve that wealth. It is something real, physical, tangible, that has value, that always has had value, and always will have value. That is one of the most important things. And the great thing about the whole Wallstreetsilver movement is that there are now countless thousands more people who are waking up to this idea. At the start of the silver squeezing movement about a week ago, when it was really picking up in hype, there was a lot of things that I disagreed with about going all in on silver and having $1,000 an ounce silver coming out over the next couple of weeks. That is not, in my opinion, something that will likely ever happen. And that is an opinion, that is fine. And it is important that we have differing opinions in this community, in our shared community. We're all ultimately on the same team here with stackers, numismatics, people who just like to buy poured silver or whatever it might be. We're all on the same team. But it is important to stack responsibly and buy responsibly. When I see posts for people saying that they've mortgaged their house to go all in on silver, to me, that seems reckless. That seems not something that's sensible. But for people to take some of their disposable income that they were going to put into a savings account and have inflate away to nothing, that is a great buy. Silver is something that will keep that money safe, preserve that buying power over time. And yeah, with the current price of silver where it is and where it perhaps arguably should be, I do think silver is undervalued, and I think that silver will grow over time. So my main reasons for having been critical about Wallstreetsilver in the last couple of weeks and months, and even back to the markets when it was Wallstreetbets doing SLV, is that there is this hype train that can be created, and it is important to step back from that. And what I have seen a changing in the Wallstreet's silver rhetoric over this last couple of days, that there is now a lot of people who are waking up to the idea that, do you know what, actually, yes, $1,000 an ounce silver is really not something that is likely, but holding my silver forever is going to be fantastic. And that is to be commended. If there are people out there who have the disposable income, who can put it to one side for 10, 15, 20, 30 years, then that is fantastic. That is to be applauded and to be commended. I still am not a fan of the hype train silver pumping that goes on not just Reddit, but all the different platforms out there. And I do think that that is counterintuitive to the responsible stacking message, which I and a lot of other silver stackers and silver YouTubers have and will continue to talk about. And I am not ashamed of the fact that I will be critical on silver as a all-in investment. I have always believed that silver and gold and precious metals and whatever other commodities out there that you want to buy should form a small part of a large portfolio of diverse assets. That is my message, and that has always been my message. Does that make me a government shill or a banker's shill to put the downer on a precious metal movement like Wallstreetsilver? In some people's opinion, yes, it does. But in my opinion, I think it just is responsible to remind people that silver is not the best thing since sliced bread. It is fallible. It has got its failings. It will give you the power to preserve your wealth over time, but it might not make you a millionaire. That is the message which I have always said and that I will continue to say. All that said, though, as I have alluded to, I think that the fact that we've got so many brand new stackers out there, so many brand new people getting into precious metals, enjoying their metals, sharing and showing off what they've purchased and enjoying it and learning about it is an incredible thing and is something to be applauded. And I do very much think that this future community that we've got will be a strong one. It will be a community that will hold for a long time. It will be something to reckon with into the future. I do not think, though, that we are going to see the squeezing of the COMEX, the death of the COMEX anytime soon. Please be aware of that. And I think it is important to respect other people's views and opinions. And whilst I will not agree with the idea that the COMEX can and will be squeezed anytime soon, I will concede that we have something going here, that there is something to be applauded about the idea of silver being this new popular asset, something that's real, something that's physical, that can be held for a long term. We'll see how it all pans out over time. For me, my channel, for everything that we do and we've stood for on here on YouTube, I think that we will continue to promote and talk about the responsible stacking of silver and gold. And I think a lot of certainly my viewers and my subscriber base have and always will be on that same level as myself. I think it's important to take in lots of differing opinions, lots of different approaches so that everybody can make the right decisions for themselves and not just rely on what other people are doing. That is the most important thing. It's one thing that the Wallstreetsilver people do quite well, is that they talk about due diligence a lot. One thing that they don't do well, and this is meant as constructive criticism, constructive feedback, is they are often very anti people who are not completely on board with their message. It is important to have open minds, to have open opinions on a whole host of different tactics, ways of doing things, and aspects of things that perhaps one hasn't considered. That is the overarching message that I think I will continue to put on my channel, and I have no shame about doing that. And being called a banker's shill or being called a COMEX spy or whatever it is funny, is hilarious to me. It's completely unfoundedly untrue, of course, and what a wonderful way to welcome people to a community. But that's the minority. That is the minority of the Wallstreetsilver community. I can see now a lot of people on there that are excited about silver, are passionate about silver, and that is a great thing. That is to be commended. But take it with a pinch of salt. If you're here as a long-term sort of silver tuber supporter and you're looking for this new community, be aware that it is a very different community in its approach and its way of thinking. Take it in, enjoy it for what it is, but always, always, always responsibly stack, responsibly buy, source your silver responsibly without jumping in on bandwagons, and just go from there and just see how silver forms part of your portfolio over time. That's what I've always done. That's what I always will do. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme by any accounts. It's a stay-rich-quick scheme. Silver will always protect your wealth into the future, as will gold. And whether it be because silver's got high premiums and you're buying gold right now, that doesn't mean that you're on a different team. We're all on the same team here, and the message is that silver is good. It will keep you safe. It will keep your family safe, your finances safe over time, but only if you do it responsibly. If you mortgage your house to buy silver and you lose your job and you can't pay your mortgage anymore, you're in trouble. And that is something that a lot of people perhaps don't necessarily appreciate, that it can be very dangerous to go all in on any asset. And while silver won't go to zero, it can go down. And if you get hit with bills that are unexpected and are forced to sell when you do not need to sell, or when you do not want to sell, I should say, you will be in trouble. And that is something that I think a lot of people are ignoring right now. Certainly in this uncertain time. We are in a very uncertain time when it comes to livelihoods and jobs and economies and finances. And if there is a huge inflationary run, that is going to have a major impact on employment, on money, on banks, on everything. And that will hurt individual people. So that's my message from today. To everybody out there, I hope you enjoy your silver. I hope you stack your silver well, stack it high, stack it responsibly. And we'll see you on the next video. If you've enjoyed what we have to say, hit that thumbs up button, share it around. Otherwise, thank you one and all for watching. We'll see you on the next video. As always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.